are a really, really strong player, and that I was playing friendlies with the Pokemon trainer earlier, and it's just like, man, like, these people are so good.
Yeah. Definitely, you know, deserving of their like potential #1 spot in North Dakota for sure. As players are just now sitting down, about to get going on this next losers match set. So,
Yeah. So have these players played before? Do you know?
I believe they've played maybe once. They've had a couple opportunities to have met. At the Summit of the Dakotas and at the last Fargo, North Dakota monthly. I forget if they've played historically, so if it is, it's been like 1 or 2 sets at most, probably 1.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. It's an interesting matchup, that's for sure. I mean, I don't really know much about the Bowser Jr. matchup spread at all, but Pokemon Trainer is definitely a really strong contender for high tier character, 100%. And they've got access to so many different options for 3 different characters in one, and you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how Crius is making the most of their character against that, you know?
Yep. And we do have a Bowser Jr. in North Dakota, so Mastro's not going into this with no matchup experience, so may be a bit tough for Crius.
Yeah, it can be really scary when you're playing a lesser known character and you go up against someone who does have that character knowledge. It can be much different than what you were expecting or what you've played before.
And Mastro starting off quick, Squirtle very fast, very, strong combo game early on to tack on all that percent. Not sure he was really looking to waterfall that direction, but quick little punish coming out of Crius there.
Yeah, and Mastro's Squirtle, for how small Squirtle is and for how low damage some of the moves individually can be, those moves string together so beautifully that Squirtle is able to just rack up so much damage so quickly.
And here on the Ivysaur, definitely starting to look to close out this stock from Crius. That is on the Ivysaur. Strong up air, strong down air with the combo game for Ivysaur, and that projectile is quite strong, but it seems Bowser Jr. does have options with the Clown Car to get through this.
Clown Car. Silly little car. Ooh, and I love that up B there. Mastro was really good at playing with that move and kind of making the most of it. Alright, Crius.
Ledge guard situation, gonna send him off. Rapid Jab, gonna take it. Very strong move from Bowser Jr. for sure. Able to kill at ledge there at about that 100% range.
Yeah, it's such a strange move to be killing. Really, the only character I could imagine who rivals that would be Falcon. Whose Rapid Jab is strong, but certainly not nearly as strong as Bowser Jr.'s.
Yeah. So, but loses stock, so it means Mastro back on the Squirtle, so trying to tag on as much damage here as possible. Gonna find that waterfall. Tags on about quick 16% or so.
Yeah, and one thing about Bowser Jr. is that with that Clown Cart, even though it does have armor on a good portion of it, there's also kind of a prescribed way that the character can go with the car and cancels, so it can be really hard to like figure that move out.
Yep, yeah, it's hard to punish sometimes, and Crius is quite effective at mixing up his options with it.
Yeah, 100%. He was showing a lot of that today during some of the earlier sets, and really showing some of it today too, or right now.
Mastro trying to find some sort of opening here to close out the stock because they really want to start looking to build a lead for themselves here. As Crius is trying to close up this percent gap, but both players just kind of starting to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you have to do. I mean, there's 4 minutes left on the clock, plenty of time to find your openings as you need them and find the kills, just as Mastro did right there with a really great back throw.
Yep. Managed to confirm off that little down air after recovering from ledge, and should be able to make it back. Oh! Not quite enough.
Yeah.
Mastro nearly closing the game out right there.
Yeah, but that does a lot of mental damage, getting spiked like that and having to... It can be really stressful trying to press those buttons up the... So really, if Crius will just have to kind of keep the peace of mind right now. But really, yeah, it is looking like it is Mastro's game right now.
Yep, starting to look comfortable on the Ivysaur, which is usually a bad sign for Mastro's opponents when they're starting to get comfortable on Ivy. Because Ivy is quite effective at putting out damage and just killing in general.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, if you were able to kill with Ivysaur and not even need Charizard, that's the mark we're really good.
But good parry to up smash. Gonna finally find that Mastro's second stock, but staring down 108% deficit, it's gotta be tough.
And I like the switch to Squirtle here. You know, Mastro's not at a very high percent, and all the combos that Squirtle has can really get Crius into a higher spot, so that even Squirtle might be, honestly.
Yep. If you miss a tag on Squirtle, that can actually lead to death sometimes out of the jab lock setup. So, but just adding in damage for Ivy to help close it out, definitely worth the time on Squirtle there.
Oh, back throw.
No, down throw, the DI mix-up.
Yeah, probably wasn't DIing super well for that.
Yep. Was probably expecting the back throw, because...
Yeah, I mean, the DI there, it seems like he was kind of holding in a little bit, so...
Yep.
That's going to be game 1 for Mastro, who takes a pretty convincing lead over Crius. Something that Crius can't come back from, though, as we head into game 2.
Yep, going to Town and City, I believe? I think I saw that, right?
Yeah, I think so. And Mastro, you know, last game, they had like a pretty big lead, and Crius was able to creep back a little bit, so Mastro just might have to do a little bit more convincing this game if they want to keep that advantage here, but Crius...
A little bit of role reversal here. Crius the one starting to tag on the big damage, early on 102% already.
Oh, it's such a scary place to be in. Master Jr. just ab-smazzing at ledge.
Yep.
And you know, one thing that's really nice about having this is a counter pick for Crius, is that Town and City, even if you have the platforms here, Bowser Jr. has pretty decent platform movement.
Ooh,
wow.
Quick little snipe with the up B. Mastro quickly reversing that entire set, or stock, excuse me.
Yeah.
After going down 100%.
I know, seriously. It's a lot. Scary place to be. But yeah, as I was saying, just, you know, pretty good platform movement. But as well, the stage, when it transforms to having no platforms, that can be really hindering to your opponent's movement when you have the toy on the ground there.
Yeah, the Mecha Koopa definitely quite essential for Bowser Jr. state control, but can be turned against a pretty... Oh my... That is a Mastro Flare Blitz right there. That's quite classic for them.
Yeah, that was very... That was crazy.
They're very fond of
like
using that option
from
in
that
reads.
A little bit.
Yep, they're very fond of using that option in read situations like that. And it worked out there. They found a pretty early kill with it, but F Smash going to finally close out Mastro's first stock, but it is quite the lead that they have built up here. As Crius is going to try and dig their way out of this hole.
Yeah, and you know, Bowser Jr. has pretty good options for killing, and especially in terms of their smash attacks, but you know, is it too little too late, especially since that last stock, it took so much percent before Crius was able to get that stock.
Yep, and Mastro's, especially after that read, they're definitely, you know, probably feeling pretty good. You know, mental's probably riding high, and just kind of looking to close this game out, not going too crazy. Just playing it slow, sitting back, throwing Razor Leaf. But...
Ooh, and Crius starting to bring this back a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, 71%, that's doable. That is 100% doable.
Absolutely, but Mastro bringing up the squirrel again, looking to tag on that damage, but Crius has shown they are able to tag on damage as well. Quick 68 here.
Oh, it's basically even now. Switching to the Ivysaur, Mastro seems pretty confident in the Ivysaur here. Just hanging out on the ledge there, throwing those Razor Leaves. Totally understand that option.
But the dash attack whiff's gonna hurt, but nice mash out of the grab.
Don't want to be getting hit by the Mecha Koopa, taking on all that extra damage. Right, just throwing the Razor Leaves here, looking for an option as Crius.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that is a classic. Ivysaur up B hitting through stage in like nearly mid stage, and they're still able to recover. It's quite a strong option when you don't expect it.
Yeah, it really is, especially from all the way down there, all the way to like the middle of the stage. Really crazy option.
But Mastro's not spent a lot of time on Charizard in the set so far. It's not been pretty comfortable trying to close out with Ivysaur, so maybe Crius seems to be handling Charizard so far, but Charizard, just one back air away from closing this one out.
Oh, and they both were going for the up smash there. That's such a scary spot to be in.
Oh, the Mecha Koopa!
Forcing Mastro out of that grab situation, who is now a disadvantage off ledge here, looking for the back air. Nothing just yet.
The flare bits, you gotta respect it.
And they just do it, yeah.
Another one, that's two that game. That's, quite the statement that they're comfortable to do that.
Yeah, Mastro is just kind of popping off right now. I mean, that was really, really unorthodox way to end a set. You're like, what if they shield? What if it just ends up not working out? But being able to have that confidence there is really, really great thing.
It's good for the mental too. Definitely the momentum you get from a situation like that definitely helps, especially when you need to, start closing this set out being up 2-0.
Yeah, I would just also like to point out that KK Slider is performing, so we should all take a moment to be happy that KK Slider is here, because he only performs at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, so.
We have been blessed.
We've been blessed, that's for sure. But yeah, Mastro and Crius just taking it back here to Town and City. Getting a little bit of damage. Crius is getting a little bit of damage, but it was a pretty similar story last game where Crius had the lead until he didn't.
Yep.
And Mastro was starting to change it up a little bit. So let's see if they're able to make some adaptations to make their game theirs.
Oh, whiffing that F smash, gonna get punished. Oh.
Cute little escape option there.
Yep. Up B to get themselves out. Here comes the Razor Leafs. Crius has been pretty effective at dealing with those, but struggling a little bit here as they get thrown off stage.
Crius just hanging out on stage, content to kind of just run away and wait until they're able to get that whiff punish on Mastro.
Oh, calling out that option. Mastro clearly tried to delay to look for something, but Crius, just threw out that up smash and it managed to snag them a kill when they weren't really able to do that in the previous game.
Yeah, and Mastro forcing kind of a switch there with the Squirtle, and I don't know, might be time to switch back to the Ivysaur because I don't know how amazing Squirtle's kill power is right now.
I mean, at that high of percent, pretty much any character's probably gonna kill.
Yeah,
So,
Mastro proved me wrong here. Really great back air. But Squirtle taking a lot of damage, and that's pretty close to kill percent for a tiny turtle there.
Yep. Mastro really wants to work as much percent out of this time on Squirtle as possible, so they're trying to delay the switch as long as they can before they really need to switch to. As you see, they finally decide to there.
Yeah, and I've always thought Pokemon Trainer has a lot of depth as a character. You really have to understand this character to play them well. I mean, there's 3 characters in one. You have to switch your playstyle up on a whim. And also just change the muscle memory too. And Crius with the taunt after the up smash.
Ooh.
Even though it didn't kill, didn't even need it. And
Back here, gonna close the stock out. Mastro down to their last stock in this game, but it's definitely still doable if they can find this kill. But Crius is starting to tag on this extra percent.
Nice little empty hop down smash there. Interesting option, but hey, if it works, it works.
Yep.
Right, and Crius starting to run away with this a little bit. 60%, 69% on Mastro. 79% on Mastro, who is just getting hit over and over again. Finally getting the kill on
Finding
Crius.
the fair, yeah.
Yep, great fair there.
But here comes Squirtle again. They're gonna try and get as much mileage as possible here.
It's already 40% on Crius. This is looking a lot more doable for Mastro. And again, this is losers, so both of these players could possibly, Crius actually could be on his tournament stock here if this ends up going in Mastro's favor.
Sends them off. Looking a little tight of a situation for Crius, but they find their way back on stage and find an up smash. Not going to be just enough.
And Crius, he's been making these adaptations. This is a lot closer, overall of a game than it was last game. But still, is it too little too late? He's already down 2.
Back throw?
Back throw?
Good TI, not enough just yet.
Yeah, and this stage does have really big side blast zones, so sometimes it can be hard to find that kill there, but
That up air is going to take it, covers the jump. 3-0 for Mastro.
Good stuff from both of these players. Mastro again going to be able to take it on to the next round. Crius is unfortunately eliminated, but good stuff again to both of them. They all played great and both have been getting amazing wins today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely Mastro needed that.